everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Literally What. Happy August. I can't, anytime a month has gone by, I genuinely cannot understand what's going on. But I hope everyone has had such a great past, however long it's been since we have last spoken. I've had a crazy busy last few days. I drove up to Georgia for my dad's 50th. That was so fun. I got to surprise him. I love surprises, not when it has to do with me, but when I'm a part of some sort of surprise, I am always down for that. So if you're listening, like, don't ever surprise me, because normally I always find out ahead of time and then I don't want to tell anyone because, like, I feel bad. But majority of the time, if it's a surprise, I know. So that's another reason I don't like them. But I love being part of them. So that was a lot of fun. And then on my way back from Georgia, I got a cat. And actually it's funny because a year ago, my friend got a little kitten and I watched him for a couple months, and then exactly a year later, she just couldn't take care of him anymore. And so now I have a cat and a dog. So I'm not just a dog mom. I need a hat that says like cat and dog mom. And I have never had a cat before. And it is so interesting and funny to see differences between cats and dogs. Obviously, they're very, very, very different animals, and I feel like people are an either or. And if you know me, like, animals are my number one. Like, I love animals more than probably most people in my life. I grew up wanting to be a vet, and then I realized that you have to like actually do things that will harm the animals for their benefit. But I could never do that. So didn't end up being a vet, but my dream, and my husband also is like down with the idea. We want to eventually live on like a lot of land so that I can have a ton of animals. And even now I was like, I would so get another dog. I would get another cat. I would get like 1,000,000 if I could. But our house right now, we don't have a fence. So hopefully our next place will have a lot more room in the backyard and I can get a ton of animals. But I've been just busy with getting the cat situated. His name is Waffles. He is so cute, and he actually is the same color as our dog. They're both like tan. So cute. They actually get along really, really well. I was really nervous about it because our dog has been an only child, you know what I mean? And so I feel like it's different when you bring another animal in, especially when it's not another dog. But I think it's just funny seeing them interact because like the cat, he doesn't really make that much noise and he's so silent. And he'll like just randomly jump up on something, and like my dog will like kind of jump back because she's like, what the heck is going on? And then when he'll get up on the counters, she'll just start whining, my dog, because she can't get up to him, and she's like wants to just like follow him around. It's so cute. But yeah, that's kind of my life right now, just like adjusting to having two animals. But I will say, I guess it's when they talk about children, like it's way easier to go from 1 to 2 pets than 0 to 1 pet. Just like I guess when you go from 1 to 2 kids, it's easier than going from 0 to 1, obviously. But you know, for now, these are my children and I'm very content. I still want more, but we'll work on it. In other news, we are in the midst of a tropical storm heading our way. If you know me, I hate thunder, I hate rain, it just scares me. And so that is hitting us Sunday. I'm filming this on Saturday and I want to get up tonight because I don't know if we're going to have Wi-Fi or power. So this might be up pretty late tonight, but I want to get it out right when I can so that you guys don't miss me too much. Totally kidding. But that's everything I had to update you guys on. If I'm slow with uploading clips or whatever, it's probably because our power is out. And it should be passing us, I think, Monday or Tuesday. So hopefully we don't lose power. Hopefully everything's fine. We've done a lot of preparation. We went and got a ton of stuff. I'm an overthinker, and so I got like a ton of crap that I know we don't even need. But I was like, I need to be prepared because I don't know what's going to happen. Anyway, can you guys hear me too? I feel like I'm talking like not into the mic, but that's everything I had to tell you guys, catch you guys up on. So housekeeping, make sure you guys are following the Instagram. We do have a TikTok. It's Literally What Podcast on TikTok. What else? YouTube. I post every single podcast up there. You can see the pretty pink background. What else? I think that's all the housekeeping for now. So let's go ahead and get into some hot gossip, hot takes, stories, and advice. They're going to have you saying literally what? I've noticed the past like few times when I do my intro, I add like a word or two. I don't know why I'm doing that and like I don't like it, but It's fine. It's what we're dealing with today. Okay, first story. Let's jump into what I'm sure everyone has been watching and talking about, the Paris Olympics. I have been just watching pretty much gymnastics, and growing up, all I would watch was gymnastics and then swimming. And this year, I've just pretty much solely been watching gymnastics. And let me tell you, I don't know where I was in 2020. I was not watching Tokyo Olympics, I'm assuming, because I had never really seen Simone Biles perform at all. And I kept hearing all this stuff like being talked about this year and how like she's like the greatest and blah, blah, blah. And so I like didn't really know much about it. I haven't watched clips or anything. And I was watching, I think it was the all around finals. And I watched her do her floor routine first, which if you watch gymnastics, I want to know your favorite event. For me, I really love watching vault. That's like one of my favorites. Bars scares me too much because I remember when I was younger, I think it was Shawn Johnson. Maybe that was on the beam, but I feel like when you fall from the bars, it's like a lot more intense than, and maybe it's not, and I just make it up in my head, but I feel like there's a lot more chances to fall on bars. So bars stresses me out. Beam does too, because when I see them wobble, it freaks me out, but I love watching vault and I love watching floor. Those are like my two favorite ones. And funny story, I actually did gymnastics growing up, and I'll never forget, and if you did gymnastics when you were younger, you probably remember this, but when we did the balance beam, they would have it was just like the beam on the floor, because obviously we were kids, and if we fell off an actual high balance beam, that wouldn't be good. And one of the things or exercises was pretending to like scoop ice cream with your feet to try to like learn the balance. So that was like so fun. I remember doing that. And I don't really think I did bar. I did used to do vault too. And I remember the first time I did it and my coach was teaching me, she was like, just pretend that an ugly guy with snot running down his nose is chasing after you, trying to give you a kiss. And I sprinted for my life and it worked. So there you go. But I watched Simone's floor, and her first pass when she did all those flips and stuff, I was like, okay, no wonder. And then I saw her vault. It's just, she's insane. And it's interesting because I was listening to the TV commentary, and basically like when a gymnast goes to do their whatever event, they have a set score of the difficulty of the moves they're doing. So say she was doing the vault for her first pass, her difficulty is already at a way higher point system than any of the other competitors. And she obviously does it and executes it very, very well. So it's borderline impossible to kind of pass her. And so I would see her go, and she just would have the most insane tricks. And then the other people go, and, you know, the difficulty isn't as hard, but they would execute it really well. But it's like, it doesn't matter because she's doing so much more intense and difficult stuff in her routine. So it was just cool seeing her, and I was like, okay, now I get the hype. Now I understand like why she has all these gold medals. She obviously is amazing, and I don't know where I was in 2020. The summer of 2020, what was I doing? Genuinely don't know. I think I was in college, so probably going out every night. But, or no, that was COVID, right? So did they have, I don't know where I was. The years just kind of blend together as you get older. But also with the Paris Olympics, if you are on TikTok, and maybe they've made it to Instagram Reels, but the trend of people posting their gymnastics fails and saying like, unfortunately, I wasn't chosen to participate in the 2024 Paris Olympics, and then it's a video of them as kids just totally sucking. And there was this one of this boy. It was, I think he was doing like a dive or something, and he walked on backwards and then just like totally lost his balance and fell back. And then there's so many girls who would do like the bars on gymnastics, and they would just keep spinning around and around and around and like wouldn't let go. And then a ton of them just like falling, belly flopping. Just, it's so funny. And it uses the like Olympic, is it the theme song? I don't know, of like in the background. I'm living for these posts. They kill me. They're so funny. And then there's another trend going around. Like sometimes trends that like are actually fun and enjoyable to watch just like get on a roll. Like I feel like we have so many good trends right now, but it's the just give me my money, and then everyone claps, and then you tell the last person, or you don't tell the last person what's going on, and then you clap for everyone, and then when the last person goes, you don't clap for them. It's so funny. If you haven't seen those, go watch that as well. I want to do that to someone so bad, but everyone I would do it with has TikTok, so unless I fly out to my mom and do it to her, I feel like everyone else is like knows what's happening. That is just the funniest trend though by far. Like those two trends are really giving me my serotonin levels, and it's been so amazing. But yeah, Olympics. Have you guys also seen the guy? I forget what he does. It's the pony, or what is it called? I don't remember, but everyone says he looks kind of like Clark Kent, like Superman, because he has his glasses on them and he goes to do his event. He like takes them off, and like he's literally at the Olympics just for that one event, and he is so funny, but he's so good at what he does. And he did an interview talking about he has a girlfriend who he's like madly in love with. He solves Rubik's cubes. Like he's just like so cool, and it was just funny seeing him do the event. He would go up, he was just sitting there waiting to do his one event, he would take his glasses off, he would go up, he would absolutely crush it, and then he'd come back. It was so funny. And then yeah, just the gymnastics, I loved watching it though, especially today. It was vault finals, and there were so many famous people who were there like watching the USA team. I think it was like John Travolta, I saw Bobby Flay I think yesterday, Pharrell, Michael Phelps was there. Just like it was cool seeing all these different people just like sitting there and supporting and flying all the way out there. Obviously, like if I was that rich and famous, like I would fly out, but it was really cool. And then Simone Biles, she made history today. She won gold in the women's vault final, so she is now the only the second woman in Olympic history to win the vault twice. And what does that make her at right now? How many medals is she at? Because I know it's a lot. I don't know. It's not telling me. But I know it's a lot, and I'm sure she'll get more. Because I think they still have beam tomorrow. Or maybe it's bars. I don't know. But I have been thoroughly enjoying watching all of them perform. Is that what you say? Like perform? I guess compete. I don't know. But been loving the Olympics. I'm sad it'll be over. I wish there was like more gymnastics, because I feel like what you watch is so short. Like whenever they do their event, it's like not really that long. It's just kind of like a few seconds and then it's over, but it's still really exciting. So very fun. Moving on to some exciting travel news. We all know I love my travel news, and whenever something comes up, I have to talk about it because I love talking about it. So Southwest, which I have never flown on, but I know that they are a very popular airline, they are getting rid of open seating, and they're offering extra legroom in their biggest shift in their history. So for those who don't know, Southwest, it's open seating. Obviously, if you pay more, you can get onto the plane first to like pick a better seat. But if you don't, then you just kind of like are scrambling, and you're probably going to get a middle seat. And that's why I feel like I always see videos of people who like, they're a couple and they'll be in the the window seat and the aisle seat, and they'll be like arguing so that someone doesn't sit in the middle of them. And I guess that's because it's open seating. But I love this because I don't know if it's because I have anxiety. I could never, it would stress me out not having a seat picked out for me, like assigned, and me having to just go in and figure it out, because one, I don't want to sit in a middle seat. Two, what if someone like tries to switch with me and it's not like, well, I can't because this is my assigned seat. Like, you can't do that. That would just stress me out. Like, I don't understand. And I know that a lot of people are very loyal to Southwest, and my sister was saying, people who are very high up on Southwest, they are very upset with this because, they would get on and get pretty much whatever seat they wanted. But I'm glad they're doing it. And it says it's going to offer extra legroom, and it's going to start next year. And they are also going to begin overnight flights starting in February. So I guess they don't have overnight flights either. But I don't know. I don't fly often, but I feel like I've flown a lot in my lifetime that I specifically would never go on Southwest because there's not assigned seating. And obviously I'm a Delta loyal girl. Like, Delta is the best. I'll debate you on it too. And so I'm glad this is happening because I just think it's better to have assigned seating. I just think it makes everything easier, and I don't know why you wouldn't want that. I guess if you are higher up, then it would be nice because if you're the first one on the plane, you can just kind of pick wherever. But I don't like that. It reminds me of like when you would go back to school or like back to your first semester at college, and you would try to like find a seat. Like, I don't like it. I want to pick it in advance. I want to be prepared. I want to go on and have my seat and be done with it. Is that too much to ask for? I don't think so, but I think it's a good move on Southwest's part. And honestly, like if I had to, like I would choose then, if I needed to fly on that airline now. I wouldn't have before. But if there wasn't a Delta flight and there was a Southwest flight, I was like, okay, I could do it, I guess. Okay, our next one is a little murder news, just so casual, but I don't know if you guys have been following. It's called the Black Swan case, and basically it's about this woman who used to be a ballerina, and she married this man who was like 30 years older than her, and he spent a lot of his money to help her build a ballerina studio, kind of like the Black Swan movie. She ended up shooting him, and they just did their trial a couple weeks ago, and he also had a daughter who she was very active on TikTok, and that's kind of how I heard about it. She was posting a lot, and it was just really interesting to see. I watched the trial. I watched the daughter speak. I watched the girl who her name was Ashley. I watched her speak, and she was convicted of manslaughter for shooting him. But it was a very, very interesting trial to watch, and also just seeing the daughter posting on TikTok. Part of the trial, the defense attorney started like grilling her about like, I've been hearing you've been posting on TikTok about the trial, and like, can you go get your phone? Like, let's watch these TikToks together. And the judge was like, this is all speculation. This has nothing to do with the trial. And if you want to ask her a question about something, like you can, but if you're just speculating, like, why are you bringing this up? But I felt so bad for the girl because she literally looked like she was about to like die and like pee her pants. Like I could never. But she did really well, and it ended up going in her favor. So it was very interesting to see, and I feel like I might have heard about this because it happened back in 2020, and they're now just going to trial. But July 30th they announced the verdict, and so originally she was charged with second-degree murder, and then they went to convict her on the lesser crime of manslaughter. They revoked her bond, and now she faces up to 30 years behind bars for using a firearm in the murder. But yeah, that was just interesting. And again, let me know if you've seen clips on TikTok or not. I feel like that's where I find all of my news. I'll see something and I'm like, I have to talk about this, and then I'll research online more about it. But yeah. Okay. Next is about Cardi B. So I get online and I see that she announced that she is filing for divorce from Offset again, and she did file back in 2020, and then they ended up getting back together. And so I saw that she was filing for divorce from him again, and then I get on like a few hours later and I see Cardi B announces pregnancy, and I was like, what? So yeah, the same day that she announced her divorce, she announced that she is also expecting her third child. And honestly, I kind of love it. I think it's very interesting. I'm always interested to see when celebrities, announce something and what their PR team is telling them to do, and like why she chose to announce the divorce first and then the pregnancy, and why she did it on the same day. And I did a story a little bit of back about like Mindy Kaling, and she kept her whole pregnancy a secret. So it's like, it's just interesting to see like celebrities when they announce different things. But yeah, I'm interested to see if she follows through with the divorce. I know they've been going through a lot. So we'll see what happens. But her rep confirmed that this is not based on any one particular incident. It has been a long time coming, and it's amicable. That's a hard word to say, guys. Amicable. But yeah, when she posted on Instagram, she captioned it with, "Everything ending comes a new beginning. I'm so grateful to have shared this season with you. You have brought me more love, more life, and most of all, renewed my power." So yeah, we'll see. They've had such a rocky relationship. Like when she filed in 2020, then there were so many cheating rumors of him, and then I guess now she hopefully is going to stick with it. We'll see what happens, and maybe now she'll release new music. Please. But yeah, I hope she has a very healthy pregnancy, and I'm glad it's amicable. I'm sure like with pregnancy, like, co-parenting and all of that, is probably the best case for like everyone, that they kind of like remain amicable. Friendly, is that a synonym for that? Okay, so most of the rest of this are a lot of just Love Island related stories. So this is the last one before we get into Love Island related stories. So again, like if you didn't watch Love Island, you probably won't want to listen, but you should because, you know, some of it, like a lot of the stories now, it's like actual real life and like what's happening outside of the show. And even if you didn't watch the show, you know, you can still listen, but I promise after today, there will be not really any more major Love Island stories. Before we get to the last one though, side track, but I was watching The Bachelorette. I am caught up. I don't know why, like this season just seems very, very, I don't want to say scripted, but just not genuine. I feel like the first and second week, all of the guys are just like picking random fights and having drama going on and trying to like, you know what I like, if you're watching, it's just weird. Like so many of the guys are just being ridiculous and I think they're just trying to get screen time, and I genuinely like, I'm just like so annoyed with the whole thing. And Jen said in like one of them, she was like, you know, I have a very good sense of like who's here for the right reasons and who's not. And I'm like, really? Because you're keeping like a lot of the guys, you're keeping the drama. And I always wonder if producers do have a say in like, hey, you should keep these two guys here because they're helping with the drama, or hey, you should like get rid of this guy. So I feel like there has to be some of that because she is keeping like all the drama stars. I don't even remember all their names. The name I do know, the Sam guy, don't like him at all. And just watching him on the screen, it's interesting. He definitely is not a great guy. Don't like him at all. He kind of reminds me of Luke from Hannah Brown's season in a way, and he kind of looks like him too. I don't know. I don't like him that much. Let me actually look at some of the guys because there was a guy that I was like, I love, 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 love. Also, I think Jen's boring. I really do. This whole season, it's very, very reality, very like giving fake. I don't know. It's still fun to watch. Like it's still, of course, interesting, but it's more of like, it's been a background for me. Okay, let's see. Is Austin still there? I like Austin. Okay, I know that like I've been seeing a lot of people saying they like Devin. I don't like Devin at all. I can't stand him. I think he's just weird. He is not trying to get along with the guys. He's like stepping on toes. I don't like him. I don't like him for Jen. Don't like him. Don't like him. Don't like him. Sorry. Grant. Love Grant. I think he's still there. I do like Jonathan a lot too. I was seeing some things about Marcus. I don't know how I feel yet. Sam, of course. Oh, and Spencer. I love Spencer. I love him too. And then Thomas N is the guy I also like literally cannot stand at all. I should have made a list of this because normally I have been watching The Bachelor, Bachelorette for years. And so I have a very good idea of, you know, whenever they put specific music behind when they're on the screen or if they're involved in drama or not. I'm very good at picking who ends up being kind of like in that top 12-ish area and above. So yeah, I'll get back to you next week. I'll have my list and we'll see. I'll make like who I think is gonna make it, and to the top we'll do like 8 maybe. But yeah, this season just like, I don't know, I'm not like, this is such a good season, especially coming off from Love Island and watching this. Like it's a comforting show because I've been watching it for years and years and years, but these guys just like are not it for me. Some of them are, but a lot of them are not. Anyway, okay, that was my segue. Oh wait, I have 2 stories before we get into Love Island stuff, so you're welcome, guys. Okay, I'm like literally all over the place today. So sorry. I've been like also trying to do all of the laundry, clean the entire house, because if we like run out of power, you know, like I don't want to, you know, I try not to use any appliance when it's storming also because I'm afraid of getting struck by lightning. Okay, next story. Carrie Underwood is going to be returning to American Idol as a judge. I have not caught up with American Idol in years, and honestly, if she goes on American Idol, like I'll probably watch it because that's like a full circle moment. I think she'd be a really great judge. I think she would kind of be, who would I compare her to? maybe like Apollo, like very honest but very nice. Like, we'll say it in a nice way. I don't think she'll be like overly nice and just try to save people's feelings. Like, I think she'll actually be very constructive and also just like really nice. And I don't think, has she judged anything before? Like, I think this will be her first time judging, so I'm excited. But yeah, like, she won in 2005. Yeah, so 20 years later she'll be replacing Katy Perry, which I think is so sad. But I don't know, I think it'll be good. Definitely full circle. And she'll be alongside Luke Bryan and Lionel Richie. But I'm very, very excited, honestly. She said, I remember being at home in our little house and seeing on TV that there were auditions in St. Louis. My mom said, if you want to go, I'll drive you. I went from nobody knowing my name to tens of millions of people watching the show. And yeah, I mean, she's now like insane. She has #1 singles, Grammys. I see her everywhere. She did the Monday Night Football, or was it Sunday Night Football theme song? Like, I do love her. And I think it's a good move on their part, like, good for them. So I'm excited. I'll probably watch, honestly. I think so. I think I will. I also, guys, like, I can't stop thinking about Dancing with the Stars. Like, that's all I care about. I just want to watch Dancing with the Stars, and I just want to know who is going to be in the cast. Oh, I'm dying. Okay. Next, a little like Marvel news. 2 years ago, had never seen a Marvel movie in my life except I think Ant-Man. Like, I don't know. I didn't grow up with brothers or anything. Like, Harry Potter's my thing, but Marvel, like, not into it. And so 2 years ago, my best friend, she has seen all the Marvel movies. And so she sent me like a list of like the order to watch them in. And so I think I got through half of the list. So I've seen like a lot of Marvel movies now. And I was actually kind of into it for a long time. And then I kind of stopped. I think it was during COVID when I did that. So I've seen like half of whatever the list is of chronological, not in the order they came out. And I enjoyed it a lot. So anyway, the story is Robert Downey Jr. He is returning, shockingly, to the Marvel Cinematic Universe as Doctor Doom. So they did like some panel whatever event for Marvel, and he had the green thing on in a mask, and then he like took off the mask like so dramatically, and it was him, and because they were announcing who was going to be the person playing Doctor Doom. But apparently he is a villain. So I knew him as Iron Man, and Iron Man was obviously a hero, and now he is coming back to be a villain. So he stopped his Marvel career in 2019 after he was Iron Man in literally 10 films. Like, he was in a lot of movies. And okay, well, this literally just, you guys, I didn't know that he died fighting Thanos in Avengers Endgame. I don't think I've seen Endgame yet. That's really sad. Maybe I have. It's been a while, but I don't, that's really sad. Okay. That was like a little shocking to me. But yeah, I think I'm glad. I've always loved him, and I was talking to my husband. He was like, you know, he made Marvel like a ton of money, and so when they killed him off, like, they're probably just trying to bring him back and bring in a lot more like viewers and money for Marvel, which, you know, it's always about the money. But I'm excited. I probably won't watch it, but like, it was really cool seeing him take the mask off. It was so dramatic. But I was seeing a lot of comments, like, people were really confused, and they were like, why would they pick him? And, you know, why would they make him like evil and blah, blah, blah. And I think though that he wears a mask the entire time. So I think it's just going to be him like using his voice, you know, like, I don't think we're going to be looking at him being like, oh, that's Robert Downey Jr. Oh, that's Iron Man. Like, I think it's going to be a totally different character. So anyway, I think honestly, like, how cool to be an actor and being able to play this hero for like 10 years of your life or however long it was in all those movies, and then you get to play a villain. I always was like, if I could have been, you know, a movie star, whatever, I would have loved to play a villain. Like, I love the Disney villains. I just love the villains' stories, because I feel like a lot of times the villains become that way because they're so misunderstood. Even like Wicked, like, she becomes a Wicked Witch because of, you know, her past, and like, you know, villains didn't always start out bad, you know? I feel like most of the time they just were really misunderstood. And that's why I think like a lot of villain backstories I love, because it's, you know, makes you think of them as like real people. But go Doctor Doom. I don't know what it's about at all. But yeah, super fun for him. Okay, now we're getting into a little, Love Island Vanderpump Rules coming together. Katie Maloney was spotted with Love Island USA's Connor, which I loved Connor. He was one of my favorites. I was really upset when he went home. But they apparently have been spotted out together and could be on their way to being a match made in reality TV heaven. So Katie's 37, Connor's 28, and they were seen in a restaurant in California on July 31st, and it was just them on this little low-key outing. So I will say, like, I kind of love this, and I don't know, like, go Katie. I love Katie too, and I think she deserves the world. But it's just so funny because, all these people went on Love Island as really nobodies, and then they probably have all these celebrities like DMing them, and it's like, how do you pick, you know what I mean, like who you would want to choose, or who do you want to DM, or like who would I want to try to get together with? So anyway, we'll see what happens with that. I'm going to keep my eye on it for sure, because that's really interesting to me, because I love Vanderpump Rules and I love Love Island. So yeah, okay. Guys, I literally, if you watched last episode, as I'm uploading it, I saw that Leah went on Call Her Daddy, or it was announced that she was going on the next day, and I'd already recorded and was uploading it, and I was so mad. But I watched it as soon as it came out, and I took some notes. So this is old news, but this is editing Taylor again. I said Call Her Daddy. I meant the canceled podcast. So I don't know why I'm saying Call Her Daddy. Just ignore me. So this was her on Canceled. She did go on Call Her Daddy. She was saying that her and Miguel are still together, and she was just, they were talking a lot about just like girly stuff, like, her designer outfits, and how like all of the girls would share clothes together, and how it was just like her friendship with Serena and Janae, and just all of that. She's also talking a lot about the producers, and how like the producers like did not have her back, like were, and I honestly, I believe it, because she the whole time thought that everyone hated her, and the producers probably were not being helpful and nice at all. And then she said that she was asked to do Love Island games, and like immediately she was like, no, I'm not doing that. But they probably were like, oh, she is, the most popular person that's come from it, so let's see if she can get on this show. And it's like, why would she go on another show if she was treated so badly? You know what I'm saying? And then what else? Oh, I saw that she unfollowed Andrea, Rob, and Aaron, which I can understand Andrea, I can understand Aaron, and I can understand Rob. So I guess I can understand all of them, but I feel like why, at least for me, like I would wait till after the reunion, because then she's probably going to have to talk about it. Like just wait until you're not going to have to see them again. But anyway, so yeah, that was Call Her Daddy. And then Kendall went on VIALL Files, and Nicole was not with him. You cannot convince me they're together. She posted something on her Instagram story. Like, I know there's been a lot of speculation. Like, there's just been like a lot that's happened. Like, I'll come out and like say what it is later on, but they're not together. And I think she was trying to win. It's just weird vibes, and I feel so bad for Kendall. I've been following him on like TikTok and Instagram and stuff. And, like, I love his personality. He would be fun to see on Dancing with the Stars, honestly. Like, I excuse me, have come to like really love him. I think he has a really great personality, and I honestly feel bad for him, like low-key. But he does medical sales. Like, he went right back to work like when he got back from Love Island. Like, he just seems like a really great guy. And I really do think he loved Nicole, and especially Nicole didn't really say it back to him until the end of the freaking show. Like, I think she totally played him, and I feel so bad about it. But it'll be interesting to see them at the reunion. But he still was saying that they're together. At least on the podcast he was saying that, and that there's just a lot they're gonna have to work on being out of the villa, and just like they're gonna have to adjust to real life, which plenty of the other couples have. Like, I don't know what's going on with that, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think they're gonna be ending up together. I don't think they're together right now at all, but that's what he's saying. But he did say something like, Nick was like, do you think there's like 100% chance you'll show up? And he's like, no, not 100% chance that we'll show up together. So, which, I mean, it's literally in like 2 weeks. So, I mean, that's like a month. If you don't know, like, you're probably not going to show up together. But yeah, I feel bad for him, but I hope that he can get on some other show or do something, because like I really like him, and I feel really bad. But anyway, next, the BFF'S pod with Aaron and KAYLOR, and then Rob came on at the end. You guys, if you watch any podcast, please watch this one, because Dave was so freaking funny. He has never seen Love Island, and he was just like roasting the hell out of Aaron. It was so freaking funny. And the whole time, like, he thought that Aaron and KAYLOR like were not together. They were just like, he thought that they were the favorite couple, and then he messed up and they broke up and like they aren't together based on like the way they were talking and arguing the whole time. And then at the end he was like, wait, y'all are together? And like during the interview he'd be like, oh well, yeah, well, she'd be dumb to get back together with him, blah 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 blah, and no one clocked it because he literally thought they were broken up the whole time. But yeah, so Aaron said he watched it, and then KAYLOR said she watched it. They watched Casa and up to like the end. They didn't watch it together because he's back in the UK. And KAYLOR just said that after watching it, and like a lot's happened, and she is definitely taking a step back from a relationship. So there's no way they're gonna end up with a reunion together. You can tell KAYLOR's very pissed off, and even Dave was kind of like, oh, Aaron's definitely just like trying to get famous, and like he's gonna move to LA. And then he was already on a reality show, like he's definitely trying to become famous. So it was just a really funny interview. And then KAYLOR cleared up a little bit of like the LEAH stuff, which I still like, if LEAH wasn't such great of a person, like I would have like been so pissed off if someone said that about me. So like LEAH's handling it so well, and I think that's why KAYLOR's able to just kind of go on and be like, oh yeah, like we're great friends, we're best friends, because LEAH's like, it's fine, like whatever. And then KAYLOR was also saying, so when they do their like confessionals, when it's just like them on the screen, it's called Beach Hut, and they will pull them when they're like in their most emotional state. So KAYLOR was like, whenever I was crying, I like really upset, like they would be like, okay, KAYLOR, let's go into Beach Hut and talk about your feelings. She was like, it was awful because they would know when to pull me, and that's why she was crying so much, because then they would pull her into Beach Hut and she'd be like, oh my gosh, like blah blah blah, like so emotional. These producers are messy. Like I want to see who these producers are, because they like kind of suck. And then what else? Oh, she also said that it was a collective decision to vote Andrea off, which like, duh, you idiots. And that she's glad that they voted Andrea home, or that they voted her off, because, you know, they were all talking about how she's going on, you know, lives, TikTok lives, and she went on some podcast and like Aaron wanted her and like all this stuff. Like I just can't stand Andrea, and I hope she doesn't go to the reunion, but whatever, we'll see what happens with that. And then at the end of the episode, Rob came on and was saying like he rewatched the whole like Andrea situation when they sent her home, and he was like, yeah, it looked like Leah didn't have a ton to say. And he was talking about like, he's kind of like, he saw all of Andrea's TikToks, and apparently she deleted like a ton of TikToks when like Rob started talking about it, because she, I guess, was like, oh, I guess he's not gonna like talk to me, whatever. And so she deleted like a ton of them, which I thought was really, really funny. And Rob was saying that Survivor DM'd him, which I told you guys, like, I want to see him on Survivor, and he apparently got DM'd by them, so maybe we'll see him on a future season of Survivor. So yeah, that was a really good episode. I'd recommend watching that podcast because it was so freaking funny. Oh my gosh. And then Janae and Kenny went on VIALL Files. Nick's gotten like everyone in the VIALL Files, honestly. They have not watched the show yet, which I think is really interesting. Kenny and Janae were both supposed to be on season 5. And then Janae didn't make it past a certain point, and then Kenny took a job offer, and so then they both went on this season together. And it's like, imagine if he went on season 5 and then like they wouldn't have met each other. Like I love them together. The more I see them, I'm like, I really hope they make it. And they were talking a lot about like they both want to be their own person, like they both want to do their own thing and like be a power couple together. And I love that. I think that's like I think it should be like an ideal relationship. I know it doesn't work for everyone, but I always see relationships like you should be your own person, you should be your own person, you should both be successful in your own way, and then come together as a power couple. They both be like the most badass couple, doing your own things and like having your own things, and then like coming together. And that's kind of how it was, and I think they'll work out hopefully for long term. And they'll definitely show up at the reunion together. I think they really are the only ones I think that are strong enough to go to the reunion together. Leah and Miguel maybe, but like it's so long distance. And she was saying she gets like a lot of DMs, so we'll see. We will see. And then yes, so if you guys know who DeuxMoi is, it's this like gossip account, but apparently 2 people hooked up on Love Island that like you wouldn't expect to have hooked up. Like it was never shown on camera. I don't think it was spoken about that they were like a couple. So I want to know who it is. I don't know if she's gonna announce it yet, but that's very interesting because for that not to get on camera, and I wonder who it is, like that's weird. But that's all Love Island I have. I just was catching up on a lot of the podcasts because I'm like obsessed with them, and I'm interested to see like when they all went to Universal. They went like right after they got back from Fiji. It was like all of them except for Miguel, and everyone was kind of like, why are they all universal? Like, is blah, blah, blah. Like, is everyone fine together? But I think it was for the reunion because they were recording stuff. So I think the reunion will have like universal footage, maybe. Like, I don't know what's going on with that. Or maybe they should do another show with all of them because I would watch it. But yes, that's all of the stories I had for you guys today. I'm going to try to get this up ASAP in case like power goes out, because it's starting to rain tonight, and then Sunday it's going to get bad, and then Monday. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, that's everything I have to tell for you guys, hello. And yeah, that's all I have to say. I'm so hungry right now. My husband's cooking a steak, and so that's all I can think about, because when I'm craving a steak, like I'm craving a steak. Like, I don't really crave it often because I don't really like red meat or just meat in general. Like, I could probably be vegetarian, but sometimes I'm craving it, and that's all I can think about right now. I'm so hungry, but also so stressed and like still trying to like finish cleaning the house. I don't know why I like want the house to be perfectly clean while this storm hits, but we're gonna have a Harry Potter marathon. We're going to make the best of it, so it should be fun, with all the rain, hopefully, maybe. But that's everything I have for you guys today. And yeah, I feel like I had more stuff, but it'll come to me and I'll write it down and I'll let you guys know. But I hope everyone has an amazing rest of their weekend. If you are getting hit by the tropical storm, just stay safe. Don't stand under a tree outside. And yeah, I will see you guys next time for some more hot gossip, hot take, stories, and advice. So I'll have you saying literally what? Bye, guys.